everyone. Welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Cover Creators. Today, we have Ms. Sunita Pareek with us. Ms. Pareek is the General Counsel for a startup called Talent500. She's managing the entire legal function. And if I'm not wrong, she's the one who would actually set up or help the organization set up the entire legal function of the organization. She holds around 14 years of experience in various legal functions, such as contract drafting and negotiations, vendor contract management, legal advice, the data privacy, and so on and so forth. We actually have a lot to discuss and learn out of her experience. So, without further ado, let me introduce you, everyone, to her. Hello, Ms. Parik. Welcome to the show. And how are you doing today?
Hi, Sagar. Thank you for the introduction. I'm doing very well. Thanks again.
Great, ma'am. Thank you very much for getting some time out of your busy schedule, guys. She's a very busy bee. It was really hard to get a hold of her, but finally she is on the show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and ask the first question that we generally do, which is about understanding the legal issues that you worked upon. And by that, I mean, if you can tell us about a complex legal issue you worked on recently or in your career so far, and if you can describe the complexity around it and how you really approached it.
So complex legal issues, obviously, when you work for a certain number of years, there are a number of complex issues. And this is a profession where you are going to get some challenging issues your way. So there are a number of things, but one of the things which I can recall right now is not a recent one. In one of the organization, which is a service provider, which is a shared service group for an insurance group, an international, a big, large insurance group. When I was working with them, we decided to implement BCR for the group for the personal data being transferred. As I said, it's an insurance group. There is a lot of sensitive and personal data being transferred between companies. To enable that data being transferred within the group companies, we planned to implement BCR around the entire group of companies. And I'm talking about the days when GDPR wasn't there. It was EU regulation which were governing it. And we were among first few companies which were implementing BCR. So what made it challenging and what made it complex was that out there was very little information about BCR. There was information about other ways of transferring the personal data, but when it comes to BCR, there was very little information out there available there. So it was obviously very difficult for us to go about it. We had no clue what we are doing, but the way we approached it, we just put our 100. We gave our 100% to it. We did it with the right intention. We asked the expert, we reached out to the expert, we checked with the experts, and fortunately, we got an BCR certificate and we became one of the first few organizations across the world to have BCR implemented. So that was quite a proud moment. And I think that's what it takes in any profession for that matter. Just give your 100%, have the good intention, and you'll reach there.
I mean, that's very wise words. And as you rightly said, when you have experience of, such skill like yourself, every issue is complex in its own behavior, but you got one out for us. That's really appreciated, ma'am. One quick question around why legal? If I may ask that, what sort of drove you to become a lawyer and then that to an in-house lawyer?
Yeah, so I won't say that this was my target or anything. This is what I always wanted to do. It kind of happened. I come from a family of lawyers, and I'm extremely inspired by my father, who has been into judicial services. And as a child, I used to look, like any child, generally they look up to their father. I looked up to him, and I was a child. I confused his wisdom with his professional intelligence. He's professionally very intelligent and he is very wise as well. What I was very impressed with was his wisdom. and I confused both, and I got into law because I wanted to become, most of the children wanted to become like their father, their mother, anyone whom they are inspired by. So that's how it happened. And when I got into it, when I started studying law, uh, every day there was something new. And even today, I'm working as a general counsel, and in a way I have reached a certain place after working for so many years. Today when I get up in the morning, there is something on my system, on my inbox, which is something which I might not have thought through or read through, and which is going to give me that kick. So that's something which is very, very inspiring in the entire profession, especially the in-house profession. It's not only about having the technical knowledge of the law. This is how it works. This is how it's about finding a solution. You have that knowledge. No, this is not going to work. Now, how do I make it work? So that's something which is very fascinating. I at least I find it very fascinating about the in-house being an in-house counsel. The number of things people come to us about, and which may not really on the face of it, which may not sound legal per se, when you are into in-house role. A person from finance team or a person from marketing team would come to you and say, can we do this, can we not do this, especially in the advisory role, which on the face of it may not sound legal per se, but if they have not approached a legal counsel, they may make a blunder. Yeah. That's quite interesting. The entire profession is very, very interesting. We get interns to ask us questions. Where should they go first? Should they join firms? Should they join in-house counsel? So obviously, I'm not the right person to tell them what should they do. They should do what interests them. But I always give them this plus side of being into corporates, working into corporates. You'll never be bored. Every day is going to be very, very interesting, and when you end the day, you'll have that sense of achievement each day.
I mean, that's right. It's actually sort of mixing the business angle of it into law and then making something out of it. That's
Absolutely.
really beautiful. Also, I mean, for our viewers' understanding, because there are a lot of young professionals that witness our session, so we always want them to take some nuggets out of the session. For them, if you can simplify what I mean, how you really first of all set up the entire legal function, and what are the difficulties that come when you sort of implement it from a ground zero in an organization, and what really a general counsel do in an organization, and that too in a startup.
Yeah. So what really a general counsel do? No one can say that. Be ready for that, and it's not. I'm not saying it in a negative way or not so good way. It is something which I'm saying in a very good way, and I'm very proud of it. The way I have grown as a person, as a professional, when I joined a corporate, is something tremendous. I'm very proud of where I have reached. And I'm sure the upcoming lawyers, the upcoming professional, wherever you go, wherever you join, just keep looking for the professional satisfaction that comes first. When I joined my current organization, which is Talent 500, we were working with a firm. So we didn't have a in-house legal team at all. So I was the first hire, and I was supposed to build the legal team. And I was given that free hand. I'm very, very thankful to my leaders also. I was given a free hand that if I want to work with the firm, I can work with the firm. If I want to build up my own in-house team, what kind of people do I want inside would be to me. And that is precisely what I learned also here. This was the first time I was setting up a team. I had always been into team which were set up, which had established processes. This is how the contract comes in. This is how a question for advisory come in. These are your external counsels. This is the philosophy of the organization when it comes to litigation. There was nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here, and this is what I had to build. I had to counsel the leaders. Okay, this is not a litigation we might want to go for the business reasons. So these are the things which I had to build up, and that's quite exciting the way we approached the entire process. I started to work with the firm. We did not take any decision in a rush. Started to work with the firm. I worked with the firm for some time, and then I realized no, an in-house team has something which, for me, works for me, which works better for me. So we did wean off with a firm, and we did hire more people in our team, and now we are kind of pretty much established. And as a team, the organization knows us. They come to us for various matters, and what we have achieved. And I'm here only for a little more than 6 months. And what we have achieved in such short time, not just me, my team, the trust which we have achieved from the stakeholders, we all feel very proud of that trust. Sometimes if someone even come with a relevant question, what we look at is that they do trust us. Yeah? So we are quite proud of what we are doing here.
I mean, that's great to hear, man. Value addition always creates a lot of difference and makes the task easy, who to choose and whom not to. So that's really wonderful. My next question to you is, um, it's actually more of, again, as I said, value creation. So the angle of value creation comes into this. Lawyers can be considered as a privileged group in many senses. You see, we see a lot of things around it happening, and I don't want to call them, but what inspires you about the profession? That's one. And how would you like to contribute back to society?
Yeah. Definitely. So lawyers, I believe everyone consider them to be that intellectual, little more intellectual. They put them on that pedestal, and which is to quite a great extent true. Among many other professionals, lawyers are also pretty intellectual in their own way. So that's something. And since you are considered that, you have certain expectations. The society has certain expectation. People are with whom you work, people around whom you stay, have certain kind of expectation in your personal aspect as well as professional aspect. They have certain expectations from you. So those expectation meeting, I believe not just lawyers, everyone who have achieved something in life should give it back to the society. And that's how, I mean, I totally believe in taking each other home, hold the hand of those who are not so privileged. A couple of things which are very close to my heart is one is education. Education, I believe, is very close to my heart, and that is something which I try to give back. I try to mentor a young professional. I try to contribute for the people who are not so privileged and cannot get education to the extent they are capable of, or they would want to. So that is one. And it's close to my heart, because when you are educating one person, you are doing good to the entire family, and you are building up you are building that entire framework. That person is going to be capable of taking many others, is going to be able to drive many others towards education. So that's something which is very, very close to my heart. Besides that, I also work on sustainability. I do my small bit on sustainability part, because this is, I mean, we only have one planet, and everything else can be managed. We have the resources to be alive. Everything else can be managed. So sustainability, I'm very, I mean, to the extent of being annoying, I'm so much into it. Switching off the lights of the cubicles after people, and not letting people use more than one tissues, and I can be annoying, as I said, to that part.
That sounds like my father.
I'm glad. I'm glad there is someone else like me.
That's really wonderful, ma'am. You talked about education, if we can, because as you also said that lawyers are intellectual, and there's no doubt about it. No matter in what area they practice, they have their own intellect because of the things that they see, understand, and it's a business of law. So there are a lot of things that they know that we as a civilian, not really civilian, but as a common man, we don't know about things. So what I want, a very honest question is, when it comes to education, I mean, you're someone who is into it. What do you think is the state of education in India? What are the changes that we are looking at? Is there any change coming in when it comes to the education for underprivileged kids, especially?
Yeah. So, generally about education, I, not just a lawyer, I'm also a mother of a teenager. Uh, the entire system of education, and I'm very glad about it, it has changed to quite some extent. The parents themselves are much more matured from the older times when it comes to India. Like, I'll just give you an example of my own son. He is not really interested in that structured study. He doesn't want to study mathematics, science, etc. And he's just in his 10th grade. So he doesn't want to study that, but he wants to get into designing career. And uh, probably, and when I started looking at it, probably when I was in 10th standard, I wouldn't even have thought about getting into a designing career. Now a 14-15-year-old knows what he wants to do. I didn't know when I was 14 what do I want to do. So that's a very welcome change within the society, and within the education system. They are making the children independent. But when we speak about the underprivileged, I think that's not an area which has been looked through as much as it should have been. We are not too far. We have not progressed too far. There's still lack of opportunity. There are many things which comes out of exposure. I know of children who are capable, who know things, who are smart, but um, they do not have that platform where they can actually do their bit, they can perform or anything. So that's very sad a state, and I really hope we do get better. I see the intention. I see the intention. That's a good thing. There are intention. There are people. There, I see the intention in the government. There is recognition that this needs to be done. One thing which is definitely biggest challenge, we are a country of a lot of people. So even if there is an intention, doing it, implementing it is going to take its own time. But I really hope we reach somewhere there. Education is going to resolve a lot of other issues. I truly believe that, and that's very, very important. And each child should get equal opportunity, at least when it comes to the education. Each and every child should get that opportunity.
That's really beautiful. I mean, the reason why I asked you is because you're into it. So I really assume that we can get some very pure answer out of it, and we really did. So thank you very much, Ms. Parekh. And I really apologize for sort of taking a D route from detour basically from our session. So coming back to it, so far this has been a great session, Ms. Parekh. I've really enjoyed it, and I understand there's a constraint of time at your end, but I'll ask the question related to time only now. Then, uh, time is money in any profession, you see, and legal it's most of all. And considering the position where you are and working in a very great dynamics in a startup, how do you ensure to make the best of your time as a lawyer? I mean, not just for your profession, I would say, but for your personal life as well.
Sagar, first of all, this is such a good question. This is something which I hope I had heard someone speak about it when I was new in the career, what to do with the time. So when I was new in the career, when I had started my career, my only way of working was first come, first out. No, there was a queue. There was an assembly line. Okay, this has come. I'm doing this. Then this is getting out. Over so many years, with my experience, I have learned is there's certain importance which you need to give. There is a weightage which you need to. It's not always first in, first out. There's a weightage which you have to give. So there may be something which may take only 2 minutes of your time, but the weightage to that is pretty high. And the stakes of business, as an in-house counsel, we need to look at it. The stakes of business are pretty high. So we have to take that up first. Second thing is that the time, the resources, everything is very limited. You are a team of say 7 people, and you are getting work as much as 9 people in a day. That does happen. That does happen. Working in startups, it's a hustle every day. You need to think about it, and you need to understand how much time and effort and your energy are you going to give. to something. So there is an X situation. The possibility of that happening is extremely remote. If that happens, there is certain amount of risk, not high risk, certain amount of risk, but the possibility of that happening is extremely remote. I'll probably not negotiate that particular clause a lot with one of my client, because I don't want to spend a lot of time and energy on something which might not even happen. So that's one thing which we have found out that works, and that is how you can complete your task. So, and then second thing is that delegating things, asking for help. Sometimes we reach out to our graphic designer, ask them to help us with preparing the PPT. And as long as you do not reach out, you will always be thinking, what if the other person says no? Trust me, that happens very rarely. People by nature are good. Usually people are good people. They try to help. They like to help more. Most of the people are like that. You go approach people in your professional life, just go and ask for help, and it's very likely that people will help you. It's highly likely that people are going to help you. So ask for help. We hold back. That is something which I have done a lot. We hold, this is not his work. Why should I ask him to do this? No, it's everybody's work. We are doing it for the organization. We are doing it for the company. It's everybody's work. Ask for help. Let him say no. Don't take it personally if someone says no. But ask for help. Many of the things will get resolved. So I have learned it over years. Prioritize. Second is ask for help. And third is delegate. Can't be doing everything by yourself. This is something which I keep telling my team. Usually the young professional do struggle with that. Some professionals think that instead of guiding someone to do something, I would rather do it myself. If you guide someone to do something, this is something which you are giving back to your fraternity. We have experienced certain things. We have learned something as a lawyer. Give it back to your fraternity. Mentor the young professionals. Guide them. Let them grow. And you may do it one time. You guide the junior once, and he'll do it for you 100 times. So you're saving 100 times the time you have spent in doing something. So guide people. So that is one more thing which I feel that helps in managing your time, managing your work.
It's a beautiful way to look at it, Ms. Pareek. I mean, and as you said that people by default are good. I mean, I would say that beauty lies in the eyes of beholders. The way you are, you will sort of approach the same way, and things will turn out to be good or bad depending on your approach. So, thank you very much, Ms. Pareek, for this session. I really enjoyed it. You not just shared your takes on your things, but on, in a generic sense on the legal fraternity. Hope you also enjoyed this session, and I really promise that we are going to have you again to discuss on some other trending topics in the international legal industry.
That would be great. Thank you so much, Sagar. Very, very relevant question, and a very interesting session, I must say.
Thank you. I'll take this as a pride to myself, and I'll add another badge to my position. So thank you very much. And for our viewers, if you like this chat, I want you to like this video, to share this video amongst your friends and family, and of course your professionals. And click on that red button to subscribe to Click Away Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming in from legal industry leaders like Miss Sunita. This was Sagar for LexTalk World signing off.